Hello and welcome back to the Shine and Thrive Photography Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Monica, and today I'm excited to dive into a tip that is very actionable. You can do this right away. It doesn't take any setup time. And I do want to preface that this is for photographers who do have a bit of a portfolio already built up. This is not for brand new photographers that are literally just getting started, maybe just opening up their business, or maybe just have photographed like three sessions and one wedding or something like that. So this applies mainly to anybody who has maybe photographed over 10 to 15 sessions and over maybe 10 weddings. These are just like intuitive numbers that are just coming up to me. Every person is different, but then you listening to this episode, you'll be able to discern on your own whether it applies to you or not. But even if you're a new photographer, like brand spanking new, like this will apply to you in the future. So definitely keep this in mind. Listen to this episode. And those of you that are like seasoned, that have a full year under your belt of shooting plus more, like even if you're 5 years in, 10 years in, like this is gold. This piece of advice is so golden. And many of you know that back in December, at the beginning of December 2023, I went to a business conference and I ended up just getting so much clarity there, connecting with like-minded entrepreneurs. It was incredible. And I ended up signing up. Actually, many of you probably don't know. I'm just going to share with it here. But I'm a big believer in continuing to grow and evolve and get uncomfortable and invest in yourself, invest in your education. And so for the first time in a long time, I was very uncomfortable with a number that I was going to spend to invest into a program, because I kind of hit this point where I was like, okay, like I'll sign up for a $3,000 program, $4,000, but I wouldn't get that like nervous, like butterfly in my tummy feeling when I was about to click like sign up or pay now, whatever. And then I realized when I was at the conference, I'm like, this is what I'm missing. I'm missing this like community. I'm missing the actual like coaching aspect, because it's so easy for me to get an online course and then complete it. And I was doing that. I was like such a quote unquote A+ student, get a course, like do it from beginning to end, complete it, get the results. And that got me to a point, and it got me to an amazing point. Like my best year I've ever had was a $300,000 revenue year. But then I kept hitting that ceiling again. And if I want to expand and to be able to help reach more people, impact more people, work even smarter rather than harder, I'm like, something needs to change. I need to do something differently. And what I realized was missing for me was that actual one-on-one coaching or group coaching approach for others to help me find my blind spot. And also okay, I know I'm going on a tangent, but this is relevant, I promise. But where was I going with this? My blind spots, anyway, though I wasn't meant to say it. The blind spots that are blind to me, I can't see, and I need someone to help me find them. And so I got this clarity. And when the opportunity presented itself at the conference to sign up for my mentor's like next level coaching solution offer, the program is called Next Level, and it's a 12-month elite coaching program. And when I found out the price, which was in Canadian dollars, because it was in USD, and then I had to convert it to Canadian dollars, which is 30% more, and it ended up being $17,000. And I've invested $10,000 in a coach before, and that was about 8 years ago. And best decision I freaking made. I was nervous then. I was like, holy shit, is this happening? Am I doing this? But it felt so good, so aligned. And something that is so powerful when you put that money, that's what I was going to say. When you put that money down on the line, it lights this, and it feels like the aligned decision. Like the coach totally resonates with you, their approach, their values, everything. It lights this fire within you that, hey, I committed to this. Like I put this money down. I put $17,000 down. That means I'm committed to growing, to getting uncomfortable, to facing my fears, to showing up differently. Because what got me to this point in my business, which is me hitting that ceiling of $300,000 in revenue won't get me to the $600,000 in revenue or 700 or a million in the future. Like, so something has to be done differently. And I'm sharing this because me being in this next level community, someone who has already been in this community for years shared that what she does a lot is repurpose her past posts that have performed really well. And she is one of in that community, the next level, like she's one of those success stories. She actually won breakthrough of the year last year. And she's like, yeah, I don't want to be on this like constant creating brand new content wheel that takes me hours to create. She's like, I do that, but only when I'm excited about it and inspired. And then I'm always going back to older posts like 6 months ago, 3 months ago, whatever's performed well. She's like, just take that exact like content with the exact same wording, whatever, repost it, and voila, you have another piece of content. And I'm like, yes, like why? Like I've done that before, but not as a strategy. I've done that before where it's like, oh, I genuinely love, like I was going back through old galleries just to like look, and sometimes I do that just to like see how far I've come or like reconnect with, hey, what do I love shooting most and what angles do I like most? Just like reconnect with myself as an artist. And I have done that in the past where I'm like, oh, I really love this photo and I already posted it maybe 2 years ago, but let me post it again because I just want to, right? But I never actually thought of it as a strategy to save time, and actually just be smart about it. Because if we think about it, right now, what are photographers complaining about a lot? It's the fact that Instagram's reach seems to have gotten lower. I mean, personally, I have noticed a difference. Like a couple, like maybe 3 years ago, my average amount of likes that I got in a photo was like 300. And now and it would be not even ever happen that I would get only 40 likes. Like that was like not happening. If my post performed quote unquote not well, it would get 100 to 150 likes. And if it performed really well, it would get like 800 to 1,000 likes. And now my average amount of likes, I would say, is 100, 120. If it performs really well, it's like 230, 250 to 300 likes. And sometimes a lot of the time, I get posts that are like 40 likes, 50 likes. So things have shifted a little bit. And instead of us focusing on that and having the lack mentality and mindset that, oh my gosh, the reach has gotten down, that means I won't be noticed as much. That means that this Instagram strategy that I used to use won't work as effectively. Instead of focusing on that, because remember, what we focus on expands. That is not useful thinking to you. What ends up happening when we focus on that is we end up not posting. And then what happens when we don't post? We actually don't get any reach, zero reach. We don't get noticed at all. And then the problem continues. The problem being, I'm not getting as many inquiries and bookings as I want to. And I have to tell you, I have to be honest with you. Last year in 2023, when I noticed the algorithm go down, I wasn't like actively complaining about it because I already know, like I've trained myself, that's not a place to sit at. But one of my blind spots was, what is the point of posting if I only reach 40 people or 50 people with a post? And I actually slowed down my posting so much because of that stupid, like blind thought I wasn't even aware of. But granted, I also took a lot of time off last year. I just wanted it to be an easier year. So I'm not regretting anything. I'm just stating a fact of how I noticed my thought pattern, how it was. And I made it mean that in order to be successful marketing on Instagram, I had to be constantly posting, and the posts had to always like hit it out of the park, and they always had to be new. I'm like, wait a second, like who made these rules? Why do I have this as a standard in my mind? This is not true. Like, where did this come from? So when this next level member said this, and I'm just like, everything clicked for me, because whatever situation and circumstance we are in our lives, there are pros and cons. So right now, if we are in a space where the algorithm doesn't reach as many people for us when we post a post, guess what? When we share more, everybody won't really notice that we're sharing more. It'll only reach that certain amount of people, and it's not like we're spamming. That means that we can just share more and we're not really spamming people, so we can use that to our advantage. We can use to our advantage that more people aren't noticing our posts to just like have a different strategy and just repurpose. Because think about it this way, if I have 14,000 followers on my Instagram right now, I am almost at 14,000, and 40 people are liking my post, and then sometimes 300 are liking my post, and let's say 300 is a great post for me, what the heck? All the other people haven't seen it. And my work deserves to be seen more than once and celebrated more than once. Like, our work deserves to be seen, and it deserves to live longer than just for that like 5 minutes that it's in the feed, and then it just dies at the end of your Instagram feed at the very bottom as life goes on, right? Like, our work is so much more meaningful than that. So the benefit that we have now with the reach being smaller is like, okay, maybe that means the strategy is to post more, but don't let your brain now trick you with overwhelm, because overwhelm is just your brain's excuse of keeping you safe. And this is the strategy, the repurposing of your past posts, that will help you show up more often in an easy and effective way, because you actually don't have to create anything from scratch. So it'll take you 5 minutes or less to post. So I hope this is like changing the way you see it. So I think a lot of photographers, I've heard this from my students. Some photographers are like, oh, well, I don't want to like repost again because then others will think that I haven't shot anything new. And I'm like, what? Like, this is how our minds trick us, right? So, first of all, who cares what those people think? Because I'm pretty sure we're marketing to show our work so that we book clients. So if someone is sitting there on the other side of your Instagram, and let's say they are thinking that and they are judging you and be like, oh, I saw this like 2 months ago, they're reposting it again, that means that they haven't shot anything new. Like, would they even, like, it's just not relevant. Who even cares if they have that thought? Do you know what I mean? And it's like, how do I really wish I could just explain this. I felt like I was like on a roll explaining it, and now it it just like died there for a second, but that's okay. Um, how about this? We all have, like, literally, I heard this scientific fact of like we all have about 70,000 thoughts a day that pop up in our minds, right? So it's impossible for us to be our thoughts. It's impossible for us to be conscious to every single one of them, right? So let's say someone is just sitting on the couch scrolling through, and for a second they see your photo and they automatically just have the thought of like, oh, maybe they haven't been shooting much lately. Okay, cool. They're probably not even conscious to it. They move on to the next post of someone else. They've already forgotten about you. They're not even judging you. They're in their own world caring about themselves. And something that has helped me so much, this is like an RT perspective that I've learned, is imagine people judging you, and this is happening already. People are judging you in a positive way or in a neutral way or in a negative way. They're either like, oh my God, I love your work, you're so cool, blah, blah, blah. There are people that are like, I couldn't care less. Like, I don't really, you don't do anything for me. Nothing good, nothing bad, whatever. And there's people that could be just like actually have the opinion of like, ugh, I really don't like that photo. Like, I just don't like it. And that's totally fine because they're not your clients anyway. But think about it this way. There are people that are already judging you. It's unavoidable. It's happening. But imagine like people's thoughts in their brain just being data. It's just data processing, just like on a computer, right? And at the end of the day, data on computers, if you saw the Matrix, you probably saw those like that black background with like the numbers in green. And they're just like ones and zeros, ones and zeros, ones and zeros, ones and zeros. I don't understand coding at all, but this is apparently what it is. Like coding is just ones and zeros, ones and zeros. So just think about it, have this visual in your mind. If you're scared of someone else judging you, whether it's in person, whether it's you assuming someone is thinking this thought on somewhere else on the other side of the country, just know that it's ones and zeros floating through their minds. Ones and zeros, ones and zeros. It's just data. And the meaning that we give it is the meaning that we give it. We are meaning making machines. So instead of going into, oh, if I repost this post, that means somebody could think this of me, or somebody could think this of me, or somebody could think this of me. Let me ask you, is that bringing you more bookings and inquiries and making you money? Are you in the business of assuming what other people are thinking of you and that's what you're basing your actions on? Or are you in the business of sharing your gift with the world, sharing your passion with the world, sharing your work with the world so that you can be there for more people to book you to continue to do that, right? So if you are in the business of booking clients that are interested in your work and in you, then you are in the business of showing up and sharing. And the more you show up and share, the more demand you will have, the more inquiries you will get, the more bookings. So if you're not showing up, I'm going to say it straight to you, you cannot complain because it's all in your power. It's not in your power to make someone book you, 100% right. But you can do everything on your end to show up, to reply to their inquiry in a timely manner, to do it in a way that's very like smart and taking care of them right away by pre-answering a lot of questions that they might be having, by sharing example galleries. Like if you really want something bad enough, you can figure out a way to make it happen. And there's a ton of proof points in your life already up until this point that you've moved through things that you could have assumed were barriers or not possible, but you moved through it and you did it and you got this far in your photography business. So you can move through this too, and you can, keep the momentum going of getting more bookings, getting noticed, all of that. You just have to show up. Okay. So I did not expect to go on that kind of like deep tangent, but I really just wanted to flow with this episode. I'm tuning into what you need to hear, what people need to hear. I'm seeing a lot of like complaining and pain and struggle right now. And I want to be that light to like lift you back up. Like there is so much you can do. And let me tell you right now, I'm going to be a proof point. I don't teach from just like saying words. I teach from experience and from me taking action. I want to be the example to show you what is possible instead of me just saying, do this and hopefully it'll work. No. I want to be the proof for you so I can be your expander. So let me tell you what I've experienced in the last 3 weeks that blew my own mind that I didn't realize even I was capable of. So last year in 2023, I thought that in 2024, I wanted much fewer weddings. Becoming a mom, weekends are that much more sacred. And I was just like, I just really want to have that like spaciousness to have with family and friends and all of that. And then, so I didn't actually market myself that much. I didn't actively book that many weddings for 2024. And then when I went to the business conference and then afterwards, just having some chats with Rory at the start of January, I realized, you know what? No, I do want some more weddings for 2024. And with that realization, that felt really aligned. Like, I don't want to be overbooked. Like, I want to have a nice pattern of like, I have some weddings here, and then I have a couple weekends off, and then a wedding here, and then a wedding here. You know what I mean? It's just, I love it. It's a part of me. And I had the idea in my head that it would get in the way too much of family time. But you know what? There are so many other ways we can just like have family time. Like, so there's so many evenings. I don't have that many engagement sessions because they're priced at $1,000. Like, so I shoot less but make more, right? Or make the same amount of money as I want to if I was shooting more. Like, there's just so many ways we can make our reality happen. And so long story short, I got clarity. Okay, I want way more weddings than I already have booked for 2024. This was at the start of January. And I realized that to where I want to be, I was only 1/3 of the way booked of the same year, like calendar year. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to be going down the woe is me. Oh, I should have just booked more last year. I regret it, blah, blah, blah. No, no, no. Like that's wasted energy. I'm like, what can I do now? How can I show up now? And as soon as I remember hearing this next level student's advice of like just like repurpose your past posts, I'm like, let me just play around with that. Like that feels aligned to me. I can spend so much less time marketing. I've already built up this huge like marketing stream on my Instagram over the years. And then I can spend more time like booking and like doing other things that are building my business this year as well. And so um, just 1 week after deciding I want more weddings for 2024 and making it my goal, I made my goal to book 8 weddings in Q1 of this year. So Q1 is January, February, March. I made it my goal to book 8 weddings for either 2024 and 2025, just so I got that ball rolling. So 1 week after I decided that, I took the first week of January off because Ben was off school and I just still wanted that like downtime before I got into action. And then the second week of January, I got into action. I started posting 2 to 3 times a day, and these were just like past posts from like 6 months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago. I just intuitively flowed and whatever excited me and whatever I wanted to repost, whatever performed well, that is key. Like whatever people also enjoyed, because I only post what I want to post anyway to start with. So everything I posted, I loved. So everything was in alignment with me as an artist. So that's why it's so important. Just post what you love, like don't like try to people please there, because then you have this whole archive of everything you love, and then you have proof points of, oh my gosh, people loved this. Like if you go onto your desktop computer and you go onto your Instagram in like Chrome, you can actually scroll down and see on a big screen, and you hover over the photos and you see, oh, this one got 200 likes, this one got 10 likes, this one got 400 likes. So you can see which ones perform the best. So I took a lot of those things and posted them 2 to 3 times a day whenever I felt like it. And guess what? In just 2 weeks, I booked 8 weddings in 2 weeks. My goal is to do it in 3 months. So I really hope that this inspires you to just show up for the people that you want to book, that are your dream clients. Like literally put on your blinders to the rest of the freaking world that is not your client. It doesn't matter. Your Instagram is there as a business, as a magnet to who you want to work with, and that's it. So other people's opinions don't matter, and you don't even have to, don't waste your energy assuming what they are, because you're never actually going to find out. So it's wasted energy. So out of those 8 weddings I booked, 6 of them were for 2024. 6 of them. And then 2 more weddings I booked for 2025. So I'm already feeling so much better, so much more excited for the season coming up. I have like I'm almost there. I feel like I can use another like 2 to 4 weddings. I would feel like, yes, I made it. Like it's perfect. And if I could do that in 2 weeks, I'm like, oh my God, I can totally do that in like the rest of the time until 2024. So I feel like I'm on track right now. And it's because I focused on what I could do. I had fun with it. I strategized. I continued to like be myself while trying a new way of like repurposing content, right? So yeah, I really hope this helps you. So just remember, um, most likely people won't notice, because if the algorithm isn't pushing it out as much, people just won't notice that you already posted that. And guess what? If they do, who cares? I actually was coaching one of my coaching clients, and I shared this with her. And she said, actually, you're right, Sarah. Like, I literally saw a post you posted yesterday, and I remembered you posted that years ago, but I was happy that you posted it again because I got to see it again, right? And think about it like, think about your work as art as well. So think about popular art in the world. Like let's say Mona Lisa, right? The Mona Lisa is constantly up there and people are constantly wanting to see it. Like, to be honest, I personally don't know why. I'm not an art painting person, right? But there are people that resonate with that and are interested in that and love that, right? But imagine if the Mona Lisa was just like up for like 10 minutes on Instagram and then it got disappeared into the algorithm abyss and was never seen again. It's like our work can be seen multiple times, dozens of times over and over again by new people, by the same people. It doesn't matter. Just share it again. And don't get all overthinky in your head about what it means if we share. If you want to share it, share, right? And here's another one. So think about like quotes that pop up anywhere, like inspirational quotes on Instagram, or even if podcasters are talking about and they mention the quote to like bring into the conversation, right? Do we ever say, oh my God, I'm hearing this quote again? It's so inspirational. Can't take it anymore. It's like, no, we usually are like, oh yeah, that quote. Like, I'm so happy I heard that one again. It's exactly what I needed today, for example, right? Our minds, we have so much information that we're constantly taking in that we cannot possibly keep up. And that's why advertisers and marketers say that on average, someone needs to see something 7 or 8 times before they even consciously register or notice it as a service that they might want to use. It just takes repetition. So just do that. Like, let your work shine more. So stop overthinking, get out there and share. And I promise you, the more you show up, the more of a correlation you will notice with people being interested in your work and inquiring with you. And also, by the way, don't think that just because I did that and in 2 weeks I got 8 wedding bookings, right? Don't think that just because that is the exact thing that happened to me, that's what you're expecting now. Because the worst thing you can do in going into this is having that expectation, and then 2 weeks go by and then you're like, that didn't happen to me, I failed, and then you go back down and spiral down, right? Just know that consistency over time will create results. If you consistently over time post once a week or don't show up at all, the result will be very few bookings or no bookings, right? If you consistently show up over time, sharing even once a day, and again, 2 posts a week could be brand new that you got excited to share, whatever, and then the rest 4 or 5 can be like repurposed. Like, you can make this whatever you want it to be, right? Like, 1 a day is totally doable. If you consistently take that action over and over and over again, the compound effect is in your favor. It's inevitable that you will get to where you want and you will get the bookings that you want. It's inevitable. So you have to take action. So one thing I do want to mention is I honestly think the fact that it happened so quickly for me is because I already had a strong marketing foundation already in place and set up. Like, my branding, I'm very, very niched down. I'm very specific on what I photograph, who I help, all of that, and also how I show up in my personality and who I am, so that when people find me, they know who the photographer is, number one, because hello, if you expect them to be vulnerable in front of you, in front of your camera, you better want to be the first one to show up and tell them about yourself so they even know, oh, will I even like this person, right? Like, a lot of the times people don't reach out because they're like, well, I don't even see a face to this business. So, but I see this photographer over here sharing their energy, their personality, we really like them. So we'll reach out to them. That's a huge reason why people don't get as many inquiries. So I already felt like I had that strong marketing foundation set up. And so what I was able to do was turn it on like a faucet, like, oh, I want these weddings now. I turned on the faucet, let it run, and then boom, I got what I wanted. And so this is exactly the marketing like foundation, messaging foundation that I teach in my mini course that photographers are literally raving about. Like, there's so many testimonials you can read. If you go to sarahmonica.com/crystal clear, you'll see all of the like fast results that people are getting with just shifting how they're showing up and messaging and getting clear on who their dream client is and how to attract them. because the year that I implemented this was like 8 years ago, I took my business from $69,000 in revenue to $135,000 in revenue. I like doubled it because people just felt so, when they visited my website, my Instagram, whatever, they were just so clear on, she's either, oh yeah, such a great fit for us, so we're going to inquire, or no, this is not for me, and they wouldn't inquire. And when you are trying to be for everybody, you're actually going to be for nobody. Because if you don't show up in your, like, declaring to the world, like, this is who I am as a person, as an artist, this is how I love to photograph, this is who I love to photograph, let's work together, then if you don't do that, you're just going to show up in this neutral, blah energy that no one either feels attracted to or repelled from. And then you're just in limbo. And then photographers wonder, well, why won't they trust me to document their day? Well, you haven't actually been vulnerable with yourself. You haven't actually shown like your personality or what your values are, what you're capable of, or you haven't talked about the experience you create for them or why you're even a photographer. Like, it's not deep enough, right? And someone being photographed is a deep experience. It's a vulnerable experience. So yeah, there's so much that I teach in this crystal clear marketing mini course that I've just seen it help so many photographers. And so I naturally just wanted to talk about it with you at the end of this episode. If you do want to get really clear, create a really strong marketing foundation in your photography business that feels so like aligned with who you are at your core. It's really fun and effortless to show up as yourself in your business. You attract your ideal and dream clients, and they literally write you emails being like, oh my God, you were made for us. Like, I'm so happy we stumbled upon you. Then like this course is for you. And it's one thing that I love so much. The way that I teach is very broken down, straight to the point. So it's a 5-lesson mini course. So there's 5 lessons. And after each lesson, there is a homework assignment for you to do. And then that homework assignment will give you so much clarity on how to update your website, update your Instagram, which images to keep in your portfolio, which ones to take out. It's going to like revamp your presence in such a powerful way that you will literally just become a magnet to your dream clients. And I want this for you. I want to see you confidently show up and be like, yes, I wanted this many bookings and I'm getting them. And in like the most fun and effortless way. So if you want more details about it, and if you want to sign up for the course, go to sarahmonica.com/crystal clear. It's also in the show notes. And yeah, I would love to see you in the program and killing it out there. Let me see, is there anything else I want to say? Okay, so lastly, if you are kind of like, oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Okay, so this course is also a really good fit for someone who is literally brand new and they're like, I want to start a photography business. I just don't know how to start, which direction to go in. This is amazing for you because if you can get clear on exactly why you want to be a photographer, your messaging, who your ideal clients are, you can start off really strong right away and have a really clear website, Instagram, all of that to, get your business going and off the ground. And if you're also a seasoned photographer that's been doing this for like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 plus years, and you feel like something is just a little stale, like you're noticing that, you're getting maybe 2 or 3 dream clients, but then the rest don't feel aligned with you, like something feels kind of out of alignment for you, then that means that this is such an amazing tool for you to just update all of that, update the energy in your business, the messaging, and getting clear on exactly what you want to photograph and why. It's an amazing update to do, especially in slow season. So that is who the course is for. And you can always DM me at Sarah Monica Photo to ask me any questions if you need clarifying, if you need clarity or you need to ask clarifying questions if it's the right fit for you. And yeah, I will help you figure that out. Okay, so lastly, if this episode was helpful, please share it with a photographer friend. Let's just like spread the community over competition, because honestly, the more that we can be in this together and help each other along the way, the more we will all be able to like rise together. I truly believe that. And so if you have a friend that's been feeling really down, because being an entrepreneur, a business owner is an emotional roller coaster. It is personal development on steroids. We go through a lot. And if someone is just feeling like a lack of inspiration on how to, market their business, or it's taking too much effort or time to market, like this is just a quick right away. They can already just get started, repurpose 2 posts from last year that did really well and just share that again and already start up that momentum to starting going in the direction that's up, right? The direction that's up towards them booking the amount of bookings that they want to book. This will be so helpful for them, and I know that they will be really grateful. Feel free to share this to your Instagram story. Just like click the share link button from either Spotify or Apple and share it there. Tag me at Sarah Monica Photo. I would love to see that you shared, connect with you, and also reshare to my story. It would be so great. I love staying connected with the community. And that is pretty much it. Oh, lastly, okay, this is fun because one thing that I brought back is I do a live like Q&A session every single Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Instagram. So I used to do this like before I had Ben, and then I just was like, I want just more spaciousness as a mom, so I'm going to pause this for now. But I really love being there for you all weekly, answering your current questions. And you get to like pre-submit the questions every Monday on Instagram, or you can show up live and I can answer your question live every Tuesday. And you can also watch the replay after, which was great. So I've already started this in January. So this is already happening, and I never know how long I'm going to make these go for, but I don't see why I would not do this for the rest of the year this year. It feels very aligned to me. I stay I stay connected with you. So yeah, just a reminder, mark your calendar. If you have questions for me, if you want to, show up live to my live energy, just to be there alongside me and alongside other photographers asking questions, just mark your calendar every single Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 10 a.m. Pacific Time and 12 p.m. Central, on Instagram at Sarah Monica Photo, Sarah no H, Monica with a K photo, and I'll be there to answer your question. So thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I'm so grateful. Remember, the link to the course is in the show notes, sarahmonica.com/crystal clear. And yeah, have an amazing and powerful and peaceful rest of your day. Bye.
Yay! Thank you so much for hanging out with me and tuning into this episode. If you got value out of it, please feel free to message me on Instagram at Sarah Monica Photo. That's Sarah no H, Monica with a K photo, to let me know. I get so freaking energized hearing from others that what I've said has had a positive impact on their lives. Also, make sure to hit subscribe to the Shine and Thrive podcast to never miss an episode. I'm so grateful for you, and I'm sending you all the productive vibes your way so you have the best week ever.